What if we told you that by 2025, the UK job market could be in freefall? It's not just a prediction, it's a looming reality. In fact, experts are warning that millions of jobs could be lost, wages will stagnate, and workers will be left scrambling for opportunities. Does that sound like an exaggeration? Well, think again. The combination of rising costs, automation, Brexit fallout, and political instability is already pushing the UK job market to the brink of collapse. And that's just the beginning. By 2025, we could be looking at a job market so unstable that even highly skilled workers will struggle to stay employed. Public sector jobs are shrinking, automation is wiping out entire industries, and outsourcing is on the rise, leaving workers with fewer opportunities than ever before. Add to that the cuts in unemployment benefits and the loss of trust in employers, and you're left with a perfect storm that will devastate millions of livelihoods. Are you prepared for what's coming? Do you know how these shifts will affect your future? Stay with us until the end, because we'll reveal the 10 shocking reasons why you might want to start thinking about your career survival, and why leaving the UK job market might be the smartest move for 2025. Don't miss out, because this is information you need to hear. Number 1. Economic recession. The first and perhaps most pressing reason for the UK job market collapse in 2025 is the deepening economic recession. Over the past several years, the UK has been facing economic instability with growing national debt, sluggish growth, and rising inflation. This is not just a temporary dip, but a trend that is predicted to continue into the near future, leading to a serious downturn in economic activity. As the recession deepens, the demand for goods and services will drop. With lower consumer spending and businesses tightening their belts, many companies will be forced to make tough decisions. Layoffs, hiring freezes, and reduced hours will become more common. This will create a domino effect as the job market shrinks and fewer opportunities become available, especially in industries that are already struggling, like retail, hospitality, and manufacturing. A prolonged recession will also lead to fewer investments in infrastructure projects, new businesses, and startups, which are often sources of new job creation. Without fresh investments flowing into the economy, the UK will see fewer job openings and rising unemployment rates. The lack of jobs will leave many people competing for the same positions, which means wage stagnation and increased job insecurity. The recession will hit young people and those in entry-level jobs the hardest. With fewer companies willing to hire, those just starting their careers will struggle to gain experience or even find a job at all. At the same time, experienced workers may face cutbacks as companies try to reduce their workforce to save costs. In both cases, the UK's economic downturn will create an environment where job opportunities are scarce, and those who do find work may struggle to keep it. Number 2. Automation and AI takeover. Another critical factor contributing to the collapse of the UK job market in 2025 is the rapid advancement of automation and artificial intelligence, AI. As technology continues to evolve at a staggering pace, many industries will see increasing job displacement as machines and AI systems take over tasks that were once performed by humans. This is not some far-off future, it's happening now, and it's only going to accelerate in the next few years. Industries like retail, transportation, and customer service will be some of the hardest hit. Self-checkout machines are already replacing cashiers in supermarkets, and AI chatbots are increasingly handling customer service inquiries, reducing the need for human workers. The rise of autonomous vehicles could put millions of drivers out of work, including delivery drivers, truck drivers, and taxi services. As more companies adopt automation to increase efficiency and reduce labour costs, the demand for human workers will decrease. In particular, low-skilled and repetitive roles are the most vulnerable. This means that those working in sectors like manufacturing or clerical jobs are at risk of losing their positions, with little opportunity to retrain for new roles in industries that are becoming increasingly dominated by technology. What makes this even more concerning is the lack of adequate reskilling programs to prepare workers for the future. While certain sectors, like tech and healthcare, will continue to see growth, many workers will find themselves ill-prepared for the high-tech jobs of tomorrow. Without significant investment in training and upskilling, those displaced by automation will face a much more difficult time finding new work. Number 3. Brexit fallout. While the UK's Brexit decision may seem like a thing of the past, its long-lasting effects will continue to devastate the job market for years to come, especially by 2025. The separation from the European Union has already created significant economic and political disruptions, and the worst is yet to come. With the UK no longer part of the EU's single market, businesses are facing new trade barriers, tariffs, and regulatory hurdles that are forcing them to reconsider their operations. These challenges will contribute to a job market collapse as companies struggle to maintain profits and jobs. One of the most immediate effects of Brexit has been the loss of access to the EU labour market. The UK used to rely heavily on immigrant workers from across Europe, especially in sectors like healthcare, construction, and agriculture. However, with the new immigration rules in place, skilled labour shortages are becoming more pronounced. Businesses that once thrived on affordable and skilled labour are now scrambling to fill vacancies, leading to unmet demand in key industries and ultimately fewer job opportunities for both EU nationals and UK citizens. Brexit has also sparked a mass exodus of businesses from the UK to other EU countries, particularly in finance, technology, and manufacturing. As companies relocate or scale back operations in the UK, this results in job losses and a shrinking job market. London, which once served as the financial hub of Europe, is increasingly being bypassed by global firms seeking better access to the EU. Number 4. Rising cost of living. One of the most pressing factors contributing to the collapse of the UK job market in 2025 is the soaring cost of living. Over the past few years, inflation has been steadily increasing, and the price of basic goods and services, from housing to energy to food, has skyrocketed. While wages have remained largely stagnant, this widening gap between incomes and expenses is placing immense pressure on workers, especially those in lower-paying jobs. By 2025, this economic imbalance will reach a breaking point, leading to increased job insecurity and lower overall employment opportunities. As the cost of living climbs, more people are finding themselves working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. But even then, it's often not enough. In industries like retail, hospitality, and transportation, where low wages are prevalent, workers are struggling to afford the basics like rent, utilities, and food. The rising housing crisis, especially in cities like London, means that many workers are finding it increasingly difficult to stay in the same location without spending an unsustainable portion of their income on rent. This creates a cycle of financial instability, where people's jobs no longer provide the security they once did. Moreover, the inflationary pressures are making it more difficult for businesses to thrive. As companies face higher costs for raw materials, labour, and energy, many will respond by cutting jobs to protect their profits. This means that layoffs and redundancies will become more common, particularly in industries where businesses are struggling to maintain profitability. For those working in already unstable industries, this spells disaster. With wages failing to keep pace with the escalating cost of living, workers will continue to find it harder to afford basic necessities, pushing them deeper into financial uncertainty. The combination of rising expenses and fewer job opportunities will contribute to a shrinking job market, leaving many workers vulnerable and uncertain about their financial future. By 2025, the UK job market could be in a crisis, where survival is no longer guaranteed and the pressure to make a living becomes even greater. Number 5. Lack of investment in education and skills. A significant factor contributing to the UK job market collapse in 2025 is the lack of investment in education and skills. As industries evolve at a rapid pace, the demand for a highly skilled workforce has never been higher. However, the UK's failure to adequately invest in reskilling and upskilling programs is leaving workers vulnerable to job displacement. The gap between the skills that the job market requires and the skills that the workforce possesses is growing, making it increasingly difficult for individuals to adapt to new opportunities. Many sectors, particularly in technology, engineering, and healthcare, are seeing an increasing demand for workers with specialised skills. Unfortunately, the UK education system and vocational training programs have been slow to keep up with these shifts. While countries like Germany and South Korea have embraced apprenticeships and vocational training to equip their workers with market-ready skills, the UK has lagged behind. Without the proper investment in education and training, many workers will find themselves unqualified for the roles of tomorrow. This lack of education and training will not only hurt individual job seekers, but also negatively impact businesses. Companies will struggle to find the talent they need, leading to a skills shortage that could stifle innovation and economic growth. The increasing reliance on automation and AI only adds to this problem, as workers who lack the technical expertise will find themselves pushed out of industries that are becoming more dependent on these advanced technologies. The result is a job market where a growing number of people are left behind, unable to find work because their skills no longer match the demands of the modern economy. By 2025, without substantial investment in reskilling and educational reform, the UK workforce will be ill-prepared for the jobs of the future, contributing to rising unemployment and an overall weaker economy. Number 6. Unstable political environment. The UK's unstable political environment is another crucial factor that will contribute to the collapse of the job market by 2025. Over the past several years, political instability has become a defining feature of British governance, with frequent changes in leadership, policy flip-flops, and internal divisions that have left both businesses and workers uncertain about the future. This unpredictability has had a direct impact on the economy, and as the country heads toward 2025, these political uncertainties are expected to exacerbate the already fragile job market. One of the main consequences of political instability is economic uncertainty, which can have a chilling effect on business confidence. Companies, especially international investors, are often reluctant to invest in a country where the political climate is volatile. As the UK grapples with issues like Brexit, internal party conflicts, and unclear trade policies, businesses will hesitate to expand or create new jobs, opting instead to outsource or relocate operations abroad where political stability and clearer regulations are in place. This trend will lead to fewer job opportunities and an increase in unemployment rates. Moreover, policy inconsistency on key issues such as taxation, employment laws, and environmental regulations only adds to the problem. The lack of clear direction on these matters creates confusion among workers and employers alike, making it difficult for businesses to plan for the long term and for individuals to make informed career decisions. As a result, the job market will be characterized by volatility, with fluctuating hiring rates, sudden layoffs, and disruptions in certain industries. The overall loss of trust in the government's ability to manage the economy will further discourage both workers and employers. As political instability persists, the UK job market will struggle to recover, and the situation will worsen in the lead up to 2025, making it a more challenging environment for anyone looking to secure long-term employment. Number 7. Outsourcing and globalization. As globalization continues to shape the modern economy, outsourcing is becoming a major factor in the UK job market collapse, expected by 2025. Over the past few decades, companies in the UK have increasingly turned to offshoring jobs to countries where labour is cheaper and regulations are more lenient. This shift is set to intensify as businesses face higher operating costs in the UK, especially due to the pressures of Brexit, rising living costs, and the need for greater profitability in a competitive global market. Sectors like customer service, IT support, manufacturing, and administrative roles have already seen a significant number of jobs outsourced to countries like India, China, and Eastern Europe. The main reason for this shift is simple: cost savings. By moving operations overseas, companies can access a lower-cost labour force while maintaining or even increasing their profit margins. In industries like tech and finance, where the UK once led the market, outsourcing is becoming the norm as businesses seek to minimise costs and remain competitive globally. This trend will not only reduce the number of jobs available in the UK, but also create an increasingly unstable job market, where more people will find themselves competing for fewer and lower-paying positions. Those who lose their jobs to outsourcing may struggle to find new work, especially as the skills gap continues to grow. Jobs in call centres and manufacturing plants, for example, may continue to disappear, with no clear path to replace them with similarly stable opportunities. The rise of globalization and outsourcing has also created a disconnect between UK employers and the domestic labour market. As businesses increasingly focus on international operations, local workers are being left behind in favour of more affordable labour overseas. By 2025, this trend is expected to continue, leading to higher unemployment and fewer prospects for UK workers, making it even more difficult for them to find long-term, well-paying jobs. Number 8. Decline in public sector jobs. The decline in public sector jobs is another significant factor contributing to the UK job market collapse by 2025. Over the years, the UK government has implemented a range of austerity measures aimed at cutting public spending. As a result, key areas such as healthcare, education, and local government services have seen budget cuts and a reduction in the workforce. This trend is set to continue, putting even more strain on an already struggling job market. Public sector jobs have traditionally been a stable and reliable source of employment for many workers in the UK, especially those in nursing, teaching, and administrative roles. However, the government's focus on reducing public spending has led to hiring freezes, job cuts, and a shrinking workforce in essential services. As departments face ongoing budget constraints, the ability to offer job security and career advancement has been significantly diminished. Healthcare has been hit particularly hard, with the NHS already experiencing significant staff shortages, which will only worsen by 2025. Nurses, doctors, and support staff are in high demand, but budget cuts to public healthcare have resulted in a reduced number of positions available, despite the growing need for services. Similarly, in education, schools across the country are seeing teaching jobs cut, and school support staff are being laid off due to insufficient funding. Furthermore, local governments have been forced to reduce services or outsource them to private companies, leading to fewer public sector opportunities for workers. This not only affects job availability, but also the quality of services available to the public, which can create a ripple effect, reducing community well-being and adding to the overall economic downturn. Number 9. Unemployment benefits cuts. As the UK faces ongoing economic challenges, one of the most concerning developments for workers will be the cuts to unemployment benefits. By 2025, a combination of government austerity and pressure to reduce the national deficit could lead to significant reductions in welfare programs, including those aimed at providing support to the unemployed. These cuts will have a direct and devastating impact on workers who find themselves without a job, exacerbating the already dire situation in the UK's job market. Unemployment benefits have long served as a crucial safety net for workers who lose their jobs through no fault of their own. However, with the government focusing on reducing public spending, there is increasing pressure to cut welfare expenditures. This would mean that workers who lose their jobs in a collapsing job market will not have the same financial support they once did, leading to greater financial insecurity and increased hardship for families across the country. In particular, low-income workers and those employed in low-wage industries will be hit hardest by these cuts. As the job market shrinks and layoffs increase, many of these workers will struggle to find new employment. With unemployment benefits being reduced, the financial strain will only increase, making it harder for people to support themselves and their families. The lack of adequate support will also discourage people from looking for new work, as they will face the additional stress of wondering how they will make ends meet without the safety net of unemployment benefits. Furthermore, these cuts will exacerbate the growing problem of job insecurity, particularly in sectors most vulnerable to automation, outsourcing, and economic downturns. As workers are forced to accept lower-paying jobs or temporary work, the lack of financial support will push many people further into poverty, leaving them with even fewer opportunities to improve their circumstances. The reduction in unemployment benefits by 2025 will not only contribute to a shrinking job market, but also deepen economic inequality, making it harder for workers to bounce back from job loss. Number 10. Loss of trust in employers. As the UK job market faces mounting pressure, a loss of trust in employers is expected to further fuel the collapse by 2025. Over the years, there has been a growing sense of disillusionment among workers, especially in industries that have been hard hit by economic turbulence, outsourcing, and automation. The result is an environment where employee morale is at an all-time low and job security is increasingly out of reach. This lack of trust in employers is contributing to a decline in job satisfaction, a higher turnover rate, and ultimately, a more unstable job market. Workers are now facing a job market where loyalty and long-term employment are no longer guaranteed. Companies, in their efforts to stay profitable, are quick to cut costs by laying off staff or offering precarious temporary roles that offer little security. At the same time, many employers have adopted a more transactional approach to hiring, focusing on short-term benefits rather than building long-term relationships with their workers. This leaves employees feeling like they are easily expendable, which undermines their trust in the very companies they work for. The increasing number of job cuts, downsizing, and corporate restructurings has led many workers to feel uncertain about their future. They're realizing that job stability is becoming increasingly rare, and employee loyalty is often ignored when it comes to company decisions. This has led to a culture of job hopping, where employees seek out more secure or rewarding positions elsewhere, causing higher turnover rates and increased recruitment costs for employers. As a result, companies are struggling to retain talent, which only exacerbates the pressure on an already shrinking job market. As we've seen, the UK job market in 2025 is heading toward a major collapse, driven by economic recession, automation, Brexit fallout, unemployment benefit cuts, and more. The factors we've discussed today create a perfect storm that will leave millions of workers struggling to find stable, well-paying jobs. From job cuts to rising costs and an unstable political environment, the job market is increasingly looking less secure and more unpredictable. The reality is that the days of job security are quickly fading, and if you're not prepared for these changes, you could find yourself left behind. Automation will eliminate jobs, Brexit will cut off critical opportunities, and the rising cost of living will make it harder to survive on a paycheck alone. On top of that, the lack of trust in employers means that many workers will find themselves without stable, long-term employment. Now more than ever, it's important to plan ahead and consider how these shifts could affect your career. Whether it means looking for opportunities in new sectors, considering relocating, or improving your skills, the key is to be proactive before the storm hits. By 2025, the UK job market may not look anything like it does now, and those who fail to adapt will be left struggling to catch up. If this video opened your eyes to the looming challenges ahead, don't keep it to yourself. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We put a lot of effort into bringing you this valuable insight, so hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, and it helps us keep bringing you more content to navigate the changing job market. Stay ahead of the curve.